All right, what we got?
I believe I did this part right. I explained
Okay, so we gotta be a little bit. Have a seat. Have a seat. We can talk about this. Come on. Have a seat. Let's talk. Listen, this is a process. Will you walk with me through the process since you're here today, Mr. Baseball player? Come on. I used to play softball. I understand. Have a seat. Don't feel bad. Okay, so getting it over with doesn't mean just do anything and then count it as correct.
did it correctly.
You feel like you definitely did it correctly. So let me say this. It's not necessarily wrong, but but I'm not asking you to define the religious intolerance. I'm asking you to tell me what she believes about religious intolerance. Like why religious intolerance? Like why is it happening in this story? Sticky notes. Remember, in my class, sticky note means what? Proof of improvement. Yes, they have their own name. Just grab one, exactly. Sticky note means that you learned something new and you've now applied it.
Hey, this ain't new to me. I ain't new to this yet.
Okay, if you say so. No problem.
So I just explained.
So let's talk about it. Religious intolerance. Why is it happening in this story? Excellent. I love it. So you know you need to do what? Go back to the what? To the text. Look at that.
It don't necessarily say why.
So now we're doing what? We're making a what? Starts with an I. You need the text. You need the text. But we're making a what? What's that word that starts with I? You remember?
I don't learn a lot of words.
That start with I, right? Inference, right? So an inference means that we're taking.
I promise. That was not a word. That was not a word. I promise. It was playing automatically.
Siri just starts answering questions automatically.
Yeah.
Okay, so making an inference. So an inference means that we're taking what the text says and combining it with what we know already based on our own intellect, life experiences, things of that nature, right? So the text tells us only so much. The rest of it we kind of have to put together based on what we understand. So, why is the religious intolerance happening? So, first of all, let's be real specific. Who is the religious intolerance happening to in this book? Muslims. Why? Who instigated it?
Ain't nothing like.
Who instigated the intolerance? Where did it start? And y'all can help them out. Where did the religious intolerance start? Who instigated it? Where did it start?
In the when they took them from the home,
Before that,
when they started the curfews.
who are they? That's they. That's one of who's they?
The government.
The government. Don't put the book down. Don't put the book down. Don't put the book down. All right. So the government, right now, the government has decided what about the Muslims? What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? Bad or bad is such an elementary word. They're a criminal, rapists. They are a what starts with a T, a threat.
So that's the same.
Okay, hold on. So they believe that the Muslims are a threat. And when people believe that you are a threat, they start to do what? Right, out of what? Spite. Spite means what? What does spite mean?
You train them based on how you feel because you train them based on your feelings.
Based on your feelings. So spite is like out of like disregard for spite is like I don't like you, so I'm just going to treat you bad. That's more like xenophobia, right? Spite, right? I just don't like you, and they could be at the point where they just don't like them. But where does it come from? If you feel like somebody's a threat is like somebody in real life. What would threaten you? A school shooting, right? So that's out of what? fear, right? So a threat instigates fear, right? And so because you're afraid, and fear comes out in different ways. How did fear manifest itself in this book, Jaden?
Oh,
I did, because we're back to you. How did fear manifest itself in this book? How do we know these people were afraid of Muslims? What did they do? It's a whole list of things that they did right in chapter 1 based on the fear that they had of Muslims because they felt like Muslims were a threat. There's a whole list of things that they did, right? You see that list of things? It started with the Muslim ban, right? What happened next?
after the Muslim ban, I just love made me lose the Muslim ban.
I made you lose the Muslim ban? Okay, first was the election. Then was what? So then the Nazis marched on DC. Then came the what? Now, do we know what the Muslim ban is? Say again. But specifically, this was a real thing that actually happened in America. The Muslim ban is when the government decided that Muslims from other countries could not fly into America. That's literally what it means by the Muslim ban. They were saying no, it could have been business, it could have been education, it could have been vacation.
So how do they know that they're Muslim other than
So a lot of times, yeah, a lot of times when you're filling out things or if you're coming, I think, and from what I read from that real instance, it's because they were coming from Muslim countries. So there are some countries where the entire country is Muslim. So it's not like that in America, right? Supposedly, right? In America, we're supposed to be able to worship how we like, but in some countries, everybody is under the same religion. So because everybody's under the same religion, they know if you're coming from that country, you are part of that religion, basically, like Pakistan and if you're coming from like Jerusalem, I mean, well, from Israel or from places like that, they all share the same religion, pretty much, right? They can tell sometimes by your last name, right? Things of that nature, right? So, because they feared the Muslims, they began to do these things, right? So now your theme is about religious intolerance. So why? What is the author trying to tell us about religious intolerance? How does it happen? What does it do to people? Like, try to give me a bigger picture. So we can have a different verb. We can say religious, in you with Miss. So yeah, y'all can sit over there or at the round table. Religious intolerance happens because, or religious intolerance is when, I think is when is giving us more definition. Religious, you guys have Miss Suggs? All right, where are you supposed to be right now? There's one right there, but she's sitting in that chair. Okay, so look at my example again, Jaden, and see if you can kind of conceptualize religious intolerance. So you have, your topic is, all right, so the author believes that people choose to hurt others because they do not like something about you, but there are people who choose to support you because they understand how the traits you have can get you in danger. There's nothing wrong with what you've written. Let's work on the grammar piece of it. The author believes that people choose to hurt others. We can shorten that. The author believes that people choose to hate others out of hate or out of dislike, but others choose um, to support. I like support. Um, choose to support. Say you second person. When you say because they understand how the traits you have can get you in danger, what do you mean by that?
Like they like with certain races and stuff, they often get marginalized and stuff like that. So people know that because of that, they'll probably struggle more, so they know that they're like having trouble and stuff.
So you're saying that it's like social justice. So people choose to be involved with social justice because they know it's unfair. Okay. Um, how about instead of writing it on the paper yet, write it down here and see if we can reconfigure that a little bit. So everybody at the table, I just want you to know this writing a theme statement is a process, right? Because remember when we took our notes on theme, it said that we could not mention plot points or characters or setting, right? So we have to be specific, but we can't say Muslim. We could say religion or beliefs, right? We want to be specific, but we can't say America or American, but we could say nation or country or nationality, right? So it's like that. It has to be able to apply to anyone or everyone, no matter where they are. All right. So your topic is hope. All right. So author believes that keeping hope, even when everyone else has given up, helps the right cause. No, I like it. Yeah. Keeping hope, even when, I think instead of everyone, maybe others, right? The author believes that keeping hope, even when others have given up, helps fight or helps.
It meant. Wait, did I write an R right there?
You have an R.
Okay.
All right, work with that and see if you can finish that sentence out. You're on the right track.
Oh,
So change everyone to others, and then try to finish out the end of your sentence. All right, Leonie, what'd you write? You are welcome. All right, so once again, you mentioned Muslims, so we can't do that, right? We can mention people who believe differently or people who have different beliefs, things of that nature. So fix that. All right. So the author believes that religious intolerance means, remember I thought we were going to take that word means out. Okay. A nation can be hated because of their religion. So is the whole nation hated in this book?
I mean, if you think
How about a people?
like
They hate the Muslims, right? But the Muslims are part of our nation. They're American, just like we are.
I can't say Muslim.
Right, but you could say a people. You could say religious group. Now, but it's more of a message though. Guys, I need you also to think, you're defining it. You're really close. You're defining it though. But I need you to tell me the author's message. Does that make sense? More than the definition. What is the message she's trying to give us about religious intolerance? Because remember, when we wrote down our notes on theme, we said the theme is a message that the author is trying to give. So what's the message she's sending? You're on the right track. Keep working.
So I don't know what else to add.
What is the message she's trying to tell us about hope? Remember, this is the author's message to the reader. Now, you may see the message different from everyone else, but it has to be based on whatever's written in the story.